Hello and welcome back to Game Vitamins. My name is Nick, and today we're going to discover how crazy I'm becoming. I mean, look at this. This is 14 boxes of Modern Horizons 3. But in all seriousness, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the journey of growing a Magic the Gathering business. You may remember from my first video that I was discussing how I was going to build this business with only $1,000. But if you made it to the end, you may also remember that I said I was not necessarily going to stick to that budget. I felt that it was a good starting point for just about anyone, where you would have your supplies, you'd have a good amount of inventory to work with, and really get the ball rolling. But at the same time, when you see a good deal, you can't always pass it up, especially when you're trying to grow with some level of speed. Usually churning and burning is a little bit more of the strategy versus just having to always turn over the very limited inventory that I would have started with, other than the 20,000 bulk cards that I am still sorting through. And don't worry, that will still be a video. It's coming. But the goal of today's video is to discuss more about what my plan is moving forward, what I'm going to do with all of these boxes, a little bit about what I opened from the ones that I did crack, and, kind of the state of the union, where things are going with Game Vitamins, and what my plans are. That's pretty much it. It's going to be a little chit chat, and this is pretty much just for you to look at, because it was the only way to get some people to probably click on this video. So let's start discussing the plan with Modern Horizons 3 and the general plan with my inventory as a whole. Now, going back to the first video, you may remember that I mentioned I was going to buy a box on eBay for $200, which I did, and that was a good price relative to what other ones were selling for. Because that first box, the intention was just to essentially open it, get maybe some higher value cards on average, so then I could sell them at a competitive rate and start getting some sales rolling. But my last video was also about the Duskborn precons, where I opened up all 4 of them and was going to list all of the high value cards from that as well. And I did that because I wanted to get things going. Clearly, I didn't want to just wait because I can only do videos so often. And the sales really started rolling in pretty quickly. So with that being said, no, I didn't technically record packing my first shipment. They just sort of came in pretty quick, and I had to pack them up and get them out. But that is still a video that's going to be coming. I think that it's looking pretty solid the way that I ended up doing it. And if you want to get a little bit of a preview of my thought process behind it, go watch my first video. I pretty much outline all the supplies you'd need. Regarding current inventory, I still have all of my Duskborn from when I opened up those precons, and I haven't even actually listed any of my Modern Horizons 3 yet. And it's because I wanted to show you what I had opened up before I went ahead and started to sell it. I'm still really limited because I only have 100 inventory slots on TCG Player, so I've essentially just stuffed it to the brim with the best Duskborn cards out of all of the precons, and now that that's starting to clear out a little bit, I'm going to start putting these cards on, so if you want any Modern Horizons 3, check the link down in the description below. And anyone who's gotten to this point might have counted the boxes. There are 14, there's 2 more down here, and there's actually the 2 that I opened up back here. And I want to show you a little bit of what I got out of the ones that I opened, or I actually separated out the ones that I opened from the box I specifically said I'd buy for the 200, and I'll show you some of those cards. But I figure to start, I want to tell you a little bit about these boxes, how I came across them, and what my plans are. So essentially, like 2 days after I bought that first box for the sake of the video, I had come across someone who was really good at Magic. He actually competed in Magic Arena Direct, where there was a buy-in, and I guess if you got to the end, you'd be able to win a box, potentially. And he was really good and had a high win rate. So he was selling 13 of these boxes, as well as 7 Outlaws of Thunder Junction boxes. Now, he wasn't even looking for market price, and I think it's just because he was trying to offload them. He had spent $25 to get into the competition, walked away with a lot of boxes, and was probably just looking for the money. So I ended up going down and buying these for about $165 a box, as well as the Outlaws of Thunder Junction ones for around $90 a box. So a great price on both of them. So in regard to these specifically, I felt that it was kind of a no-brainer. I'd be in the green no matter what, whether I decided to turn around and sell these or break them all down for cards and more inventory. Now, I know it's kind of insane to go out and buy this much inventory when you are literally just starting out on TCG Player, when I am brand spanking new. I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing still. But I figured I know how to crunch the numbers, and it just seemed like a win-win situation. It didn't seem like I could lose if I went out and got these at $165 a box. So for now, my game plan is to keep them all packed up because my inventory is really limited. I still only have the 100 slots, and I can't go out and list tons and tons of high-value product right now. And honestly, the bigger thing is that I'm sort of listing my higher value cards at TCG lows so I can get sales going. And that's causing me to lose out on potential margins of these boxes. So I'd rather wait a little bit longer, maybe sell off some other cards, sell off the ones from the box I opened for that exact purpose, perhaps. And then once I have a good base, I can go out there and sit on more inventory, whether it be trying to sell the boxes at maybe higher than like the lowest prices, or going out and opening all of these for a ton of inventory and having a certain base threshold on cheap cards as well. Because at that point, I would just have a lot of recent cards in my inventory that I could decide, okay, I won't go below 15 cents or 25 cents, and then have them sit there. But at least I could have 50,000 cards in my inventory once I hit the right level necessary to do that. Okay, that was a little bit of a rant there, but I just wanted you to get an idea of how I'm starting to look at my inventory and a little bit of my process moving forward on how I want to price things, and also where I can sort of expand margins when it's possible. Because in this business, it seems like you need to find the opportunities as they arise and capitalize on them while they're there. Hence why I went out and dumped a lot of money into this right here. And then you can sort of create a stable base and build off of that. But not every day are you going to go out and be able to do what I did and buy all of this at the price that I did. So I am now trying to also focus on what will be sustainable for growth. And sustainable growth doesn't really come from hoping to find cheap boxes or just go out and buy other boxes online and break them open and hope you can sell them for more than you paid. I mean, realistically, it's probably a good way to lose money unless you're really willing to price your cards higher than everyone else and just sit on them. So that's kind of the next thing I want to start to tackle, because I know that I can start generating the sales, but I need to figure out a way to keep the margins wide enough so I'm not just eating myself alive with all the fees and everything involved in the reselling. But again, to sort of summarize, I think that the strategy here is to buy inventory when I can for good prices, and then have the ability to either sell it off in its original form or break it all down to cards where I can then hold higher price points and eventually have a very wide selection. So when people go to buy a Modern Horizons 3 heavy deck, they'll be able to get most of those cards from me and pay a slightly higher premium on some of those really cheap cards. And I think that'll be the strategy for a lot of the different sets. I think that'll make the most sense. I mean, I still have all of that bulk to go through as well, but I've noticed there are some sets that I should have a pretty substantial amount of by the end of it. And if I can go out and get some Bloomborough, and I have those 7 boxes of Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and get some Duskmourn, I should be able to have a pretty recent and updated inventory, all in near mint because I'm opening it up right here, and be able to be that one-stop shop for a lot of the recent sets. And hopefully that'll keep sales velocity going at a pretty decent pace, and hopefully be able to stretch those margins just a bit wider, because again, this is a game of pennies. I mean, you are really trying to squeeze out every dime you can out of these cards, and if you don't, if your thoughts are just, okay, well, I'm gonna dump everything and crack packs and hope that I can make money and sell stuff quick, it's just not going to work. I think you need to play the long game and sit on inventory and have a very large inventory. And once you get to that point, you can much more comfortably fulfill orders, have a very organized system, and get that premium on cheaper cards, as well as have people place larger orders with you. So all of that combined is sort of what this stands for, but I'm not going to necessarily get there quite yet because of my 100 item inventory cap. So again, I'm real green to this. I am brand new. I am figuring it all out, but I have run businesses. I want to try to grow this business. And if you think that there's some valuable information coming from this video or my other videos, please feel free to subscribe and follow along, because I am going through everything on this journey. It's going to be incredibly fun and exciting, new and interesting on every twist and turn. So please do subscribe, give it a like, a little self-promo there. But otherwise, I think I'll probably just get to wrapping this one up. I wanted to make it a little bit faster than the other videos. So to wrap it up, I want to go over a little bit of what I pulled, because I actually recorded this whole entire box opening on my table, and I did not go through with it. I don't think that this channel is a crack and packs sort of channel. It's a Magic the Gathering business building channel, and I figure I'm better off behind the camera than just thumbing through cards. Plus, I was going to do something where I put a price on every single card, and I quickly learned that was going to be incredibly tedious. So without further ado, let's take a look. I'm going to flash the cards up on the screen because I don't think I'll be able to really hold them up. I actually tried a little earlier to see if that would be possible, and it really wasn't. So I'll go through a little bit of what I got. Maybe I'll turn it around. It might just catch glare from the lighting. But one thing I did get, which very happy about, that everybody wants, Ulamog the Defiler. It's still a $30 card, a little cheaper than I remember, but very solid, very good start. I also got Tamiyo Inquisitive Student. More expensive than I thought it was. It's just as expensive as Ulamog. Okay, can you see that? I don't know. If I hold it in front of my face, maybe it'll focus, but I'll throw it up on the screen. These alone, $60. That got me, that was already over a third of the pack. So there's 502 other cards. Spoiler alert, I got about $272 worth of value out of the box. And the box was $200, the one that I got over on eBay. So there was some positive gains there. But I also know that, those cheaper cards, that's where it's going to be tough. That's why I want to get to a point where I can sort of raise those prices up. So I also came across a Nethergoyf, which, oh man, I looked right before this video. I forget, $15? I'm going to flash it up on the screen, the price. Let's see if I was right. $15. There was a few that were 10, which was Emrakul, The World Anew, Windswept Heath, Bloodstained Mire, some of the fetch lands, and also this Borderless Ruby Medallion. I love the art on this card. I'll just make this inflate, get bigger. You can see it right here. The Borderless Ruby Medallion, very nice card. $8 on that. I got a lot of other fetch lands, a couple different creatures that were, within that $5 to $10 range. This nice borderless Spring Heart Nantuko. I'll put it up here. And otherwise, there's also some uncommons like Consign to Memory, Sink into Stupor that you can get out of Modern Horizons 3 that are like $6 or $7. So I was really counting everything here. I know when you flick through them, it's easy for people to just put the commons and uncommons off to the side, but my view with all of this is to really utilize every single card when it comes to selling them and in terms of building out that inventory. So Ulamog the Defiler and Tameo, big wins there. This little bundle that I have in my hand is easily north of $100, and there's a lot of other value that came from just other rares, commons and uncommons. And also, just for the heck of it, I did open up one of my cheaper boxes that I got, and I also got an Ocelot Pride. So that was from the other box. I separated it out. Didn't want it all to seem like I got it from one because I'm not that lucky. But some pretty solid hits and a good place to start off, because now I have some nice, more expensive cards that I can sell competitively and get the sales rolling. So that's sort of where I'm at right now. Sorry, had to clear the throat. And a little bit of my plan moving forward. So I'm going to make some videos on packing up shipments, a little bit of behind the scenes on TCG Player. I'm going to go through the bulk, the 20,000 cards. I mean, actually, just across all of this, if I opened it up, it'd be like 7,000 cards about. So that's a substantial amount to also go through if I decide to open these up and sell off singles. So that's why I'm sort of abstaining from doing so right now. Outlaws of Thunder Junction, another 7 boxes of that. That would add another 3,500 cards, so over 10,000, about 10,000 cards. So a lot going on here. I'm still under a lot of restrictions on TCG Player. I have a lot planned for moving forward at a fast speed, and I'm really excited to show all of you guys just how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to sort everything, how I'm going to fulfill it all, and how I'm going to build up this inventory. So I'm looking forward to it. If you are, please subscribe and follow along for more videos. And if you want a box, maybe shoot me a message. Maybe I'll be willing to part with some. If you want any cards, check out the description below. Go look at TCG Player, see if there's anything that tickles your fancy. We'll see you all in the next one, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.